Grandma Koko, please tell us a story.
Come closer, my children. Tonight, I will tell you a story that is as deep as the ocean and as heavy as a troubled heart. It is the story of a man who thought he could run away from God. His name was Jonah.
One day, in the stillness of the morning, when the air was quiet and the earth seemed to be listening, God called him Jonah. Go to Nineveh, that great city, and speak against its wickedness. Nineveh was not a good place, my children. It was filled with cruelty, pride, and hearts that had forgotten what was right. But Jonah did not want to go. Instead of obeying, Jonah turned his back on the voice of God.
He packed his things in haste, his heart beating not with courage, but with fear and stubbornness. Jonah said, "I will not go to Nineveh. I cannot." So he ran, not just from a city, but from his purpose. He went down to the harbor, found a ship, and paid his way to sail far, far away, as if distance could silence the voice that called him. At first, the sea was calm, gentle, almost peaceful.
But then the sky changed. The winds rose like angry spirits, and the sea began to roar. The ship trembled, wood groaned, and fear spread like fire among the sailors. Sailors shouting were going to break apart. Men who had faced many storms now trembled like children. They threw cargo into the sea, trying to lighten the ship, but nothing worked. And where was Jonah? Down below, in the belly of the ship, sleeping, while chaos raged above him. The captain went to Jonah in urgency, saying, "How can you sleep at a time like this? Wake up! Call on your God!" The sailors, desperate and afraid, cast lots to discover who had brought this disaster upon them. And the answer fell on Jonah. They surrounded him, their eyes filled with fear. One of the sailors asked Jonah, "Who are you? What have you done?" Jonah said, "I am a servant of the God of home and the dry land." And when they heard this, their fear deepened, because they realized the storm was no accident. Jonah knew what must be done. He said, "Throw me into the sea, and it will become calm."
The sailors hesitated, their hearts unwilling. But the storm grew fiercer, louder, more violent, until at last, they threw him overboard. And just like that, the sea still. Jonah sank down deeper into the cold embrace of the sea. The light above him faded, the pressure grew heavier, and the silence became unbearable. Jonah struggled, calling God. Seaweed wrapped around him, the waters closed over his head, and for a moment, it seemed it was over. But then, something moved in the deep. Something enormous. A creature greater than anything Jonah had ever imagined. Its presence shook the waters. Its shadow swallowed what little light remained. And then its mouth opened. Wide, dark, endless. And in one terrifying moment, Jonah was swallowed whole. Darkness. Not the kind of darkness you see at night, but the kind you feel. Heavy, suffocating, alive. Jonah opened his eyes but saw nothing. He stretched out his hands and touched walls that were wet, warm, and moving. Jonah shaking, whispering, "No, no, this cannot be." The ground beneath him shifted as the creature moved through the waters. Each breath was thick, heavy, filled with the smell of the sea and decay. The walls tightened, then loosened.
What happened next, Grandma?
Then, as if the very place he stood was alive, the sound around him was not silence. It was the rhythm of life. A massive living heartbeat, Jonah crying out loud to God, "Please help me." For 3 days and 3 nights, Jonah remained there. No light, No escape, no strength, only the weight of his choices and the presence of God. And there, in the depths, Jonah finally stopped running.
Jonah prayed, "Lord, I called out to you from the depths, from the place where I thought I was lost. And you heard me. I ran from you, but I cannot escape you. Save me, and I will obey." And God, who is rich in mercy, spoke, "Release him."
Then what happened?
Then the great fish roused from the depth, and with force spit Jonah out onto dry land. You see, my children, Jonah thought the deep sea was the end of his story, but it was only the place where he finally listened. There is no place too dark, no depth too deep, where God cannot reach you.
Grandma?
Yes, my little ones. Even in the belly of the storm, even in the belly of the fish, God is still there.